It's time for the Margin Matters Minute with Money Man Jason Brown.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, I am sharing my top 10 reasons to not go to Disney World. Yes, that's right, folks. My family and I took a recent trip to Disney World in Orlando, Florida. We did a lot of review videos with my son. My 6-year-old son joined me on all those, and we had a lot of fun doing those review videos and sharing tips on all the different parks. And I will link those to the description below if you guys want to check those videos out as well. But this video is really for someone who perhaps has never been to Disney World, or like myself, who hadn't been in over a decade and is considering going back to Disney World. A lot has changed. And I'm here to share the top 10 reasons why you might not want to go to Disney World. So here we go. I'm going to jump right into it. Most of these should be very obvious, but let's go. Number one reason is the heat. Yes, that's right. The blazing Florida sun and heat. If you have never been to Central Florida, that's where Orlando is located. It's right in the central part of the state. It is not near an ocean. It does not have an ocean breeze. You are right slap dab in the middle of the state, and it is what they call hell's front porch, is basically what they describe going to Disney World, especially in the summertime. You are really, really asking for it if you go during the summer months. Now, let me tell you how hot it is. Oh, Jason, can't be that hot. Come on, man. You know, I live in the South. It's, you know, we know it's summer. It's hot. No. Let me try to explain to you the heat. First of all, Central Florida, the sun is so bright. I've never experienced anything like this. Now, I live in hot Atlanta, and the sun is different in Florida. It's brighter. You always have to have sunglasses on, or else you're going to be squinting the whole time because you cannot see. Now, the second thing is, it's so hot that it feels like your clothes are literally on fire. That's how hot it is. Now, how hot is it? Let me tell you. I was down there in February, and it just so happened to be the hottest February on record in Central Florida. Yes, that's right. It was about 88 to 90 degrees in February. Yes, that's the winter in Central Florida, folks. You have to prepare for this. Now, we went down in April, which is kind of, you don't really know what you're going to get in April. We had a couple days where it was around 90 degrees. We had a couple days where it was like 78 degrees. So it was really, of course, we were loving the cooler days. But, for the most part, it was pretty warm, as it usually is. But prepare yourself. It's going to be hot pretty much no matter what time of the year that you're going to go. So there's that. Now, the number two reason, don't go to Disney if you don't like massive crowds. Yes, that's right. It shouldn't be a surprise, but Disney draws a lot of people. Now, here, the crowds are insanely large, but what's interesting about it is that this is what Disney calls crowd control. They are limiting the crowds because of the pandemic. And if you have not been to Disney in a long time, you might not know that you cannot just show up at Disney at the front gate and buy a ticket for a park and go to the park that day. It doesn't work that way anymore. You have to RSVP. You have to make a reservation for a specific day at a specific park when you buy your tickets. A lot of people I've seen on social media, a lot of people are upset and they didn't know this and they just showed up to the park thinking they were just going to get in. And they didn't have the RSVP, the reservation, and they were turned away. So Disney has a different way of handling your entrance to the park. Now, this all came as a result of the pandemic. And I'm assuming, due to staffing shortages and stuff like that, they are trying to limit or at least know how many people are coming in so they can fully make sure they have enough staff to accommodate that. And most of the times they don't. So that's why they're trying to limit the crowds. Now, the fact that they're limiting the crowds are still insane. So if this is what they call limiting, I would hate to see what it would be like without any restrictions. That's the scary part. But the crowds are enormous. It's very difficult to walk around. In a lot of these parks, some of the corridors are very narrow. The lines are extremely long, etc. So if you don't like that, you might not enjoy Disney. Now, speaking of massive crowds at Disney, let me tell you this time when my wife and I both got trampled. Yes, that's right. We were completely run over. And here's what happened. We were actually at Magic Kingdom. We got there early, super early, before they opened the gates. We thought that was a good strategy, but then when we showed up, we saw there was about 10,000 other people doing the same thing. But what they do is, I think they do this at all the parks, but they open the parks about a half hour early and just let you in to kind of walk around and get your pictures and stuff. But the rides have not opened yet. So at Magic Kingdom, they let you in a half hour early, and then they have this thing that they call a rope drop. So basically what that was they funneled everybody over to the Tomorrowland area, where that entrance area was for those rides in that little part of the park. And they had a rope drop. They literally had a rope, and they would drop it, and then once that rope drops, you can go, get on the rides early, or I guess you could be like some of the first people in the park, in that area of the park, to get on the rides quickly before the big lines happen. So anyway, we're waiting. They funnel everybody into this kind of like long, massive line over off to the side, and people just kind of wait for 10 or 20 minutes. And then once that rope drops, we were not prepared for what was going to happen. And when that rope dropped, it was like Black Friday at Walmart with 80-inch TVs being sold for $100 a piece. I mean, people were trampling each other, running, sprinting. It was just absolute chaos. And it's really not a safe situation to be in when you have young kids in tow. And all we saw was, there was no crowd control or security or police, nothing like that. It was every man for themselves, woman, child, everybody. It was the survival of the fittest. And I looked over, and all I saw one cast member look like a high school or college age kid. Please stop running, please. That didn't really. No one really cared for that. So anyway, my wife and I each were both individually completely run over by wheelchairs. People in wheelchairs. I guess the person pushing the wheelchair thought it was a race car or something, and I almost broke an ankle. Someone crashed right into me from behind, and that was not an enjoyable experience. And all this, they were trying to get to Space Mountain. That was the ride. Everybody was killing each other over to get to. So so that happened. That was less than desirable experience. We'll say that. So let's move on. Number 3. These are all kind of go together. Number 3. Don't go to Disney if you don't enjoy exercise or walking or being on your feet for 12 to 14 hours a day. This might not be the place for you, because you are going to be walking so much you won't even realize how much you are going to walk. We walked on average somewhere around 7 to 8 miles a day. Some days it was closer to 10, like Animal Kingdom, I think, is the park that you're going to walk around the most in because it's spread out more. Hollywood Studios is kind of more of a confined, kind of more of a dense, more narrow park. And then, of course, Magic Kingdom, you're walking around everywhere. So if you count steps, we were going between 20,000 and 35,000 steps a day, easy. So your feet are going to be sore. Wear comfortable shoes. That's the pro tip there. Get yourself some good walking shoes. Make sure you have at least 2 pair to switch off. That's very, very important if you go, and that's what you want to do. So number 4, actually the next 2 I kind of combine because they kind of go together. And so the next reason, don't go to Disney if you don't like waiting in long lines. Here we go. These all kind of go together. If you don't like waiting in long lines, and you don't like waiting in long lines and then the ride breaking down, and then you getting stuck waiting even longer for the ride that you waited for in the first place. Because yes, folks, that does happen much more often than you might think. So first, the lines. For the most part, all the popular big rides, the ones that everyone wants to do, those are going to be, anywhere between 1 to 2 and sometimes 3-hour waits. So that's why Disney charges you to pay extra to buy a Lightning Lane or a Genie Plus pass so you can bypass the line. Actually, you're not actually bypassing the line. You're getting into a shorter line. You're paying extra money to get into a shorter line so you don't have to wait an hour and a half. You might have to wait 20 minutes. So that's how Disney does that. It's just one of their mini money grabs that they have in place. So for the big rides, we waited, Rise of the Resistance, all those Star Wars rides are very popular. You're going to wait, 90 minutes, on average. On a lucky day, you might wait 30 to 45 minutes. So you gotta pack your patience for a lot of these rides. Now, the other thing that's frustrating is a lot of the rides break down. This happened to us actually twice. Our worst luck, I'll say, was at Hollywood Studios. So we had 2 rides break down on us. The first one was we got there early. We got in the park. We were scrambling, trying to go do Rise of Resistance because we knew that was the most popular ride. We wanted to do it first, knock it out. Hopefully the lines would have been shorter. But of course, the gates, I want to say the gates opened at 7:30 that day. They let us in around 8 o'clock. And we go straight to the Rise of Resistance, and guess what? The ride was already broken. The park, it hadn't even, they couldn't even open it. It was already broke. So it broke down and before it even opened. So they were having technical difficulties with it. So we went and did a different ride, the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run ride. We ended up doing that. And then when that ride, we got out of that ride, then the Rise of Resistance was fixed. And we said, oh, well, we better go ahead and do it now before it breaks down again. So we go in that line. We waited about an hour, somewhere close to an hour. And at this point, we're almost at the front of the line. We're an hour in. And then, of course, once again, they announce, we're sorry, due to technical difficulties, the ride has been closed indefinitely. So then you have no idea, how long you're going to wait, how long is the delay going to be, and now you're stuck. Like, okay, so what do you're in this kind of quandary of, okay, do I wait? I've already put an hour into this. Do I wait? Do I roll the dice and wait? Because they don't tell you, they don't know how long the delay is going to be. So it could be a 5-minute delay, it could be a 55-minute delay. So, but if you leave, you lose your place in line. So you could leave, and then 5 minutes later the ride's open, but you got to go to the end of the line and start over again. So in this case, we decided to roll the dice and just wait and see. And luckily, there was about a 15 to 20 minute delay on that one. So we ended up waiting close to an hour and a half for that. So a little frustrating. Now, again, this happened twice to us. We went later in the day. We did at Hollywood Studios. It was the Mickey and Minnie Runaway Train Ride. I believe that's what that one was called. And that one is also a very popular ride with the kids. The young kids love it. Really cool ride. So we were about halfway through that ride, and we were about 45 minutes in, and then that one broke down. So at that point, we just said, we gave up on that one. We left. We got out of the line, and we went and did some other things. But luckily, they reopened that line, and then we were able to do it at the end of the night, and we waited a much shorter wait. But still, we waited in line twice to do it once. So it's frustrating. And I actually just read on the internet that the Star Wars, the Millennium Falcon ride, there was a fire that broke out, some sort of electrical fire, a malfunction with the ride or something, and they had to evacuate all the people that were waiting in line. They had an evacuation. So that sounded a little bit of a scary, kind of a lot of anxiety there. Not good for the kids there with that situation. So those things happen. So you have to kind of prepare for them. But if you're not interested in experiencing things like that, you might not want to go to Disney World. So the next one here. So we have number 5. I believe this is number 5 on my list of top 10 reasons why you might not want to go to Disney World. Number 5 is, this is probably my favorite. You don't like being ripped off. Yeah, guess what? Disney World is the greatest money grab on the face of the earth. The things that I saw at Disney World were absolutely astonishing. Disney World's kind of like a wedding where there's no budget. Like you just walk in and it doesn't matter how much. They could charge you whatever that they want and people are going to pay it. It's absolutely astonishing to me. I literally saw people walking around. I saw this one family. I guess they were a family. It was an older guy, older gentleman, and he pulls out of his pants pocket a wad of $100 bills, and he's just handing out $100 bills. I guess they were his family members or friends or whatever. He's handing out $100 bills to his people, to his group, and I'm sitting there going, "Wow." Well, first of all, you can't really get a whole lot with $100 at Disney World, unfortunately. So that's the first problem. But this is the world. This is the mindset of Disney. Money is no object, okay? So, and Disney knows that. They know that you're going to pay whatever they say. And that's kind of a problem with me. So there's so many ripoffs at Disney World, but I'm going to share 3 of them real quick. I mean, you can put in the comments below your favorite ripoff or what you think is the biggest ripoff or the biggest scam at Disney World. I would love to see those comments. But here I'm going to share a couple of them. The first one, I have it right here. This is the Mickey Mouse bubble wand. You can see it's got the bubbles at the bottom. And I'll show you, it's got a couple of different, it lights up. It's got a couple switches. So it'll light up. You just turn one switch, it lights up. Of course, it takes batteries. And then it's got another switch. And let's see, we're going to see if this is actually going to work. It's supposed to shoot out bubbles. Now this, yeah, it's kind of working a little. Hey, look at that. Hey, how about that? So the kids love these things. Yeah, so there's that. So the bubble wand, this thing is $30, okay? So if your kids like bubble wands, go to the dollar store and get some bubble wands. You can get them for $1 or between $1 and $5, Target, Walmart, whatever. These are real popular with the kids. When we went, this actually was sold out in all the parks. You couldn't even get this thing. So my wife had to go online and she bought, let me turn this off. Sorry about that. She had to order 2 of them for our 2 boys. She ordered them online before we went so we could have them on the trip for the boys. They were $30 each for a bubble wand. Now guess what? We got 2 bubble wands, only one of them worked. So they're very fragile, they're very flimsy, they're very junky, okay? And then here's the other thing. Guess what? What do kids do? They drop things. They break things. One drop of this, it's done. It's over. It's broken forever. That's it. It's a waste of money. This is a total waste of money. Some of the parents, obviously it's a popular item. It was sold out at the parks everywhere, but this is a total scam. Kids love bubble wands. That's great. Go to the dollar store, go to Target, go to Walmart, get them some for $5 or less. Pack them in your Disney bag and let them do the bubbles that way. This total ripoff. Say no to that. Now the next one, this one is actually a story that I discovered secondhand, I guess. One of the other, we were waiting for the fireworks show, and one of the other, Disney park goers that we met, we were sitting next to, we just started chatting them up, and they were sharing their grievances of being ripped off at Disney World. There's a surprise. And they were talking about the battery chargers. This is one. It's the little. It's not this exact one, but Disney sells one. It's the cylinder, the portable. You plug your phone into it and you charge your phone. These are must-haves at Disney World to keep your phones charged. So Disney sells these. They actually have them at specific gift shops, and they have kiosks set up, like a little vending machine kiosk that you can buy these from. They sell these little cylinder portable phone battery chargers. They sell them also, coincidentally, they also sell these for $30 a piece. But here's the catch. You can't charge it up. You buy this thing, and this was the guy that was telling me the story. He was so upset. He bought this thing, he got it out of the machine, and it wasn't even fully charged when he got it. That was the first problem. He said it was like 40% charged. So you plug it, you use it, and what you have to do is once it runs down, once it's dead, you have to go back to the gift shop or wherever you got it from, the gift shop or the kiosk machine, and then you trade it in. So you put it into the machine and then it gives you a new one, and then you start the whole process again. So you don't buy this, you don't own this. It's kind of like, I don't know if you're renting it. It's a weird situation, which I didn't really understand. So he said you got to go back to the kiosk, you turn it in, I guess you put it back in the machine, and they give you another one, and then you just do it over again. But here's the thing. So he paid $30 for this at Disney World. I bought mine at Walmart for $17.99. So there you go. There's a pro tip for you. There's another ripoff there. Now, the last one that I'll share of the Disney ripoffs that I want to share is they really promote this heavily. It's the Disney Memory Maker photo package. And this is where you buy this package where you get the exclusive Disney, professional photographers will take your pictures at all the hot spots or the very popular locations that people want these iconic pictures, in front of the Disney castle, of course, and all the other really cool places with the awesome scenery behind, all the pictures that people post on social media to kind of make you feel jealous that you're not there. Those pictures. So basically what they do is they sell this. It's called the Memory Maker package, and you can buy it before you go. It's $99, or if you buy it kind of after the fact, if you buy it there, I believe it's $169. So, but here's the thing. Here's why it's a scam. Well, first of all, you can get the exact same photos with your phone, with your camera on your phone, and the same quality of photos. So they do not, the photographers at Disney World, they do not have exclusive, I guess, areas or territories where they take the pictures. You can actually take pictures with your own camera in the same exact spot because they're set up in all the best spots, right? That's part of the allure, I guess. But you can go over there and take a picture. And a lot of times if you're nice to them and you say, hey, would you mind, taking a picture with they'll do it for you. They'll take a picture with your camera, with your phone, and you don't have to pay the $100 for their package. And I will say a lot of those, I will say a lot of those photographers, they looked very young, high school, college age, and very inexperienced. I'm trying to say this nicely. And Disney just gave them, here's a $2,000 camera, go shoot some pictures. You can do that yourself and save the money. Now, here's what we did. My wife, she bought a preset for her phone presets, a preset package. She bought it. There's a specific Disney themed preset package that you can buy from a company called Six Little Babes. You can Google this, and it's called the Main Street Magic Preset Collection, and we paid $18 for that. And it's just different filters, I guess. I'm not that familiar. They're called presets. They actually were fantastic. The pictures my wife was taking and putting these presets on, they looked really, really good. We paid $18 for that. So there's a pro tip. There's a way that you can save money. You can still get the same pictures that they sell you with your phone in the same places that the photographers set up. So there's one there. So moving on. We're now on number 7. Number 7, don't go to Disney if you are expecting everything to be fully operational. So this is something that people might not know. If you haven't been to Disney World post-pandemic, I guess, Disney is not fully operational. They're not fully staffed. You're going to go, and a lot of the rides are going to still be closed. A lot of the gift shops, concession stands, different areas of the park are going to be closed. And that's because of the pandemic. And I read an article about this, and Disney has, I think their CEO even said, they really have no plans anytime soon of becoming 100% fully operational. And that just might be because of staff limitations or a variety of reasons because of the pandemic. But you might be a little disappointed when you go and there's a couple, 2 or 3 rides closed that you wanted to do. So just be ready for that if you go. Disney is not fully operational, and they have no plans of being fully operational anytime soon. So know that. And speaking of, on that same note, number 8, don't go to Disney if you expect housekeeping services at their very expensive Disney resort hotel locations. Huh? That's right. This all stopped too, also during the pandemic. There's no more housekeeping services. We stayed at Pop Century for 6 nights, and they came one time, and all they did was they changed out the trash and they left us some fresh towels. They just put a stack of fresh towels on the counter, but they left all the dirty wet towels on the floor, and they didn't even make the beds, nothing. So that's all they did. Now, they will come, but you have to request it. So if you call the front desk and say, hey, we need some towels, or hey, we ran out of toilet paper, or whatever, or, we need an extra pillow or two, they will come, but you have to request it. They don't come. There's no more daily housekeeping, cleaning services anymore. And I'm not sure when or if that's ever going to come back, but I do know a lot of people are unhappy about this, and there have been a lot of people complaining about this because people pay a lot of money to stay in those Disney resorts and hotels on Disney property, and they expect to have that. So be aware of that. So there you go. So now, number 9, the number 9 reason to not go to Disney. Don't go to Disney if you have young kids who are either being potty trained or you have newborns. This is, now, first of all, we were guilty of the first one. I'll tell you that story in a minute. But this is something that always blew my mind. I go to Disney World and I see all these people walking around with newborn babies. And I never understood that. Now, yes, the newborns get in free, of course, but why would you do that to yourself? As, the famous comedian Sebastian Maniscalco would say.
Why would you do that?
So I don't understand, it's 100 degrees out. It seems like it would be very, very difficult to, what can you do with the newborn? I mean, you can't take them on any rides. You can't get on any rides because you taking care of the newborn. I don't know. Someone could put a comment below and explain this to me. Now, for us, we took our boys. They were 6 and 2 at the time. Now, our 2-year-old, our plan, he was supposed to be potty trained before this trip. Now, we didn't quite make it. He was still in the process of being potty trained. So anybody who has young kids who have gone through potty training knows how difficult and challenging it is to potty train a kid, first of all. Now, second of all, it's not ideal to take a kid who's potty training to Disney World because they can't wait in an hour-long line. Every 5 minutes, they got to go to the bathroom, or every 15 minutes, they got to go, potty. Or there's going to be a lot of accidents. You're 45 minutes into a line, and little Junior's wet his pants, and then you got to deal with that and get it cleaned up. You're making life very difficult on yourself and we were guilty of this. So I'm speaking from firsthand experience. If you can avoid this, it would be to your benefit to avoid either of those situations. So moving on. Number 9 of our top reasons to not go to Disney World. Don't go to Disney if you think you're going to be able to ride all the rides in one day at whatever park you go to. That is impossible. Disney knows that. That's how it's set up. It's set up for you to not be able to ride all the rides. That's why Disney sells all these lightning lanes and Genie Pluses and all this extra money grabs. So it's set up that way. They know that. They know you have absolutely no chance when for all the popular rides are 1 to 2 hour waits. You're going to wait. If you don't buy any lightning lanes or Genie Pluses, you might be able to do 4 rides in one, and your day's over, and that's it. So you gotta set your expectations. There's no way, and I was guilty of this. I went to Hollywood Studios, and I thought I was gonna do every ride there. I was like, I wanted to do the roller coaster, the rock and roller coaster, and the mansion. What's the mansion one called? The Haunted Mansion. The Tower of Terror, that one. The Tower of Terror. I wanted to do that. Couldn't do any of those because the lines were so long. We were able to do the 3 Star Wars rides, so that was a miracle in and of itself with no lightning lanes or Genie passes. But there were a lot of rides that we didn't get to do because there just wasn't enough time to do it all in one day. Now, yeah, if you go to Magic Kingdom for 3 straight days, yeah, you should be able to do all the rides. I think we were able to do all of them in 2 days at Magic Kingdom. So, you can do it over a course of several days, but you will not be able to do all the rides at one particular park in one single day. Not going to happen. So just know that. Now, last on my list of the top 10 reasons to not go to Disney World, number 10 is kind of encapsulates all of these is don't go to Disney if you don't have any patience. If you struggle with patience, you're gonna have some problems. Disney will try your patience and test your patience, especially when it's blazing hot and the lines are long and all the other reasons that I discussed. So there you have it. Those are my reasons. Most of them are probably glaringly obvious, but if you have not been to Disney in a long time, or if you have not been to Disney post-pandemic, I guess I'll say, a lot has changed. A lot has changed on how they do things. So hopefully this video helped. I would love to see any comments. What did I leave off of my list? Add to my list. Put it in the comments below. I'd love to see them. I really appreciate it. And I do have a playlist set up. My son and I, we do theme park reviews on all the different parks that we go to. And there's a playlist set up. I think I'll put it in the description below of all the theme park reviews that we've done. So you can check those out too. We have a ton of other Disney reviews if you want to check those out. So until next time, this is Jason Brown saying thanks so much for your support. If you'd like to support me further, you can subscribe. You can like, comment, all those things that YouTube likes for you to do. Until next time, this is Jason Brown saying thanks so much for watching. And until next time, remember our favorite saying, it's not the amount of money you make, but the margin that matters the most. And Disney's favorite saying, have a magical day.